you doing, Helen? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. You're one of the artists that are playing next weekend.
I am. I mean, playing with a band I've not played with before, played with each individual member, but never as this band. And we were meant to have one rehearsal last Sunday, and unfortunately the bass player had to self-isolate.
Oh no.
So we're doing it without any rehearsal whatsoever. So I think we're going to Zoom harmonies, and that's about all we're going to get. But really great players, so it should be fantastic.
Most people, I guess, will know you from Ocean Colour Scene. Now you're obviously doing all your solo stuff. I love the story, though, of how you started out, because you were taught to play by one of the members, weren't you?
That's right. So I'm a little bit younger than the rest of them, between, I don't know, 10 and 15 years younger. And they got successful in the mid-90s, and I was leaving school in the mid-90s or late 90s, and I had my own little band because Steve Craddock, who's still the guitar player with Ocean Colour Scene, fine player he is too, he lived next door but one to me. So I used to see him. Yeah, I used to see him out the back of my window because it was round the corner, and he'd be loading up his band to go and play with his band. They were called the Boys back then, as in the late 80s. And then I was very upset when he told me that band had split up. And he said, "Don't worry, there's a new band." And eventually they got the name Ocean Colour Scene. And I watched them rehearse, and I got to know them very well. And they're lovely guys. And then in 1998, with my little band, they invited me to go and support them all around the UK and Ireland, doing the biggest tour they did to date, actually, which is the arena tour, you know, playing places like Wembley, which it was nerve-wracking enough just out of school. And the most nerve-wracking one was the NEC in Birmingham, and which is the most local to me. And I could hear my name being called out from the audience. It's obviously people I went to school with. I don't think I opened my eyes the whole gig. I was so nervous. But it was a great experience. And then roll around to 2003, Damon Minchella leaves the band, and it opened up they called me and I joined.
Isn't it true that you were like 8 years old when you first met Steve, and that was when he first started to teach you to play?
That's right, yeah. I was about, I think it was 9, yeah, about 7 or 8. I met him, and he agreed to give me lessons on a Monday night for a $5 a pop. And he taught me for about a year. Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's amazing. And I saw the cutest picture that you posted the other week of your little boy playing guitar as well.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, that's little Evan. He's 4, so he's just started reception. So he's off there at the moment and having fun. Yeah, he won't leave his guitar alone though, but so he's had to take that in. Well, it's not actually a guitar; it's a ukulele, but he plays everything. He's playing the drums. We've got a tiny little drum kit, but it's a proper little drum kit, and he's getting on well with that. Really good.
Super talented. Well, you're like an accomplished musician though, aren't you? You're not just a singer-songwriter. You play the acoustic guitar, you play the electric guitar, you play the bass, you play the drums.
Oh, thank you. I do. I try my best at playing those things, yes.
What do you prefer playing? Are you most comfortable playing the guitar?
Probably now, because it's probably the one I've been playing the longest. Having said that, I always wanted to be a drummer, but my parents would never let me have a drum kit.
As I've got 2 young boys at the moment, and one's learning to play the electric guitar, I can quite understand why the drum kit is not the best idea. It's noisy enough in our house as it is.
It is, yeah. Well, it is here too. But we have, like I said, he's got a little drum kit, but we let him play it between the hours of 10 a.m. and before 5:30. You know, as soon as the cars start, everybody comes home in the neighbourhood, we take him off.
Now, you've worked with some really big names, haven't you? You've worked with Paul Weller, Liam Gallagher. Can you tell us any interesting stories about somebody you've worked with, or maybe somebody that was just really exciting to work with?
Well, everybody I've had been so fortunate to play with or support or even just meet some people. Every one of them have been fantastic. I met Ray Davis actually from the Kinks in Japan when Ocean Colour Scene played the Fuji Rock Festival back in 2012, and that was quite a meeting because he had dark glasses on in very early in the morning, and I don't know whether I should tell this story. It's not very interesting.
No, tell the story.
No,
tell the story.
I just said he had the eggs didn't look like, they looked a bit bright. They looked a bit luminescent, the eggs. And I said to him, I have to come and say hello to you. It's really a pleasure to meet you, Ray. You're such an inspiration and everything. And he just looked at me. Obviously, he hadn't got a clue who I was or anything. So I told him, I said, I'm playing here too. And, it's an honor to meet you. And I just said, watch out for the eggs. And he raised his, and he just said, eggs, yeah.
Fantastic. Who, when you were growing up then, were your idols? Who did you look up to?
Well, obviously the Beatles. I love Buddy Holly. That was one of the first ones was Buddy Holly. Steve Craddock actually introduced me to, he gave me a record, 12-inch, and it had like the hits of Buddy Holly on it. And he gave it me so that he could teach me basically Buddy Holly songs, because they were like easy chords, really. Yeah. Although he's, you can't take Buddy Holly's talent away from him. I mean, for a songwriter, don't forget he was dead at 22. And he, over 100 songs, and he produced most of them himself. And I don't think if you didn't have a Buddy Holly, you wouldn't have had a Beatles. And if you didn't have a Beatles, you wouldn't have had anyone else, I don't think.
You've got your second album coming out, haven't you, next year? You've already finished recording that.
Yeah, I recorded that last year during the lockdown, really. And so it's mainly new tracks, although there are a couple of old tracks on there that I'd recorded before. And I was never happy with the tracks that I'd recorded before, so I've re-recorded them properly. Unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to take a band in as we were locked down and that. So I had to play everything as best I could myself. And the first track that we've released since the lockdowns is Baby Let Me Hold You Tonight, which is out right now. And that is a re-record. And I think I've done this one. Yeah. I've done it justice this time.
Yeah. So we're going to look forward to hearing that next weekend at Irlam Live. What else can we look forward to hearing?
Well, I'm going to be paying tribute to Ocean Colour Scene. I shall be playing a couple of their numbers. I think I'll be playing Day Before the Train and probably Riverboat Song. So they'll be good to play. I hope the band have rehearsed them.
There's a really good lineup, isn't there, as well? There's Sophie Ellis-Bextor, I think, is headlining. There's 911, D-Ream.
Yeah, I'm interested to see Sophie, and I'm interested to see D-Ream too. And probably a bit of 911. Why not? Hey, we're all in it together, and it's great that live music's come back. Let's hopefully, fingers crossed, that it gets to stay like this. I mean, England are doing really well, or the UK are doing really, really well, should I say, compared to other countries. And we just got to keep marching forward, and hopefully this will all be behind us soon, and everybody can get back to going to see live music again.
Yeah,
be great.
It's going to be fantastic. So tell me a little bit about the actual festival then, because it's a bit smaller than Let's Rock and Rewind, those sorts of festivals.
That's right. Yeah, it's a guy called Andy Faulkner who's putting this festival on. He's very, very professional, and he's very, very good at putting these things on. They're not as small as you'd think. The stages are just like what you'd see at, the places you mentioned. And it's managed fantastic. A couple of years ago, we did one in Blythe, and that was run by him. And he's a pro at putting on festivals. And even when it comes to Christmas, he does Christmas light switch-ons and things like that. And he gets really good acts in as well. I mean, he doesn't scrimp on them. So he's a great guy too. I'm looking forward to seeing him. So hats off to you, Andy, if you're out there.
And we're looking forward to seeing you too, Andy. So next weekend, you're performing Saturday, aren't you? But it's on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the whole weekend.
Yeah, can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Andy, for anybody that's not heard your latest new music, how can they follow you? How can they get hold of you?
Facebook is Andy Bennett Musician and Band. You've got Twitter, which is Andy Bennett Vox. That's VOX. And obviously Instagram too, which is, I think that's Andy Bennett Musician. But you'll find me if I look a bit like this, or with my hair tied back, or whatever. If I look a little bit like this, usually with shades on, and then that's me. Yeah, give us a like, follow us, and have a look at the music, have a listen to the music, and hopefully everybody will like it.